The entire team at Emsolation want to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. We want to recognise that we are recording and telling our stories on the stolen land of our country's first storytellers. We wish to pay our respects to all Wurundjeri elders and ancestors, and to extend that respect to any First Nations peoples who listen to Emsolation. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples' continued connection to the land and waters of this country, and acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. Always was, always will be.
This is Emsolation.
Well, hello there and welcome to Emsolation. My name is Em Rossiano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodivergent magic brain, a Disney voiceover artist. I'm in queer media. Yes. And I'm various other things. K-pop demon hunter dealer. And today you are in for an absolute treat. You know I love to sit down and have expansive, chaotic, unhinged conversations with very clever people. And today, look, incredible Australian artist Montaigne joins me. They are, you know how some people are just cosmically different?
Yeah.
You know, like it feels like they've been dropped here from another dimension, and the way Montaigne carries themselves, it's got like a wise sprite essence to it.
That's so true.
Their new album, It's Hard to Be a Fish, it hit me in ways I wasn't ready for. It's a beautiful soundscape. It sounds like something Björk dreamed up with a Japanese game designer. We find out that Montaigne is a massive gamer nerd, which obviously appealed to me. I did force K-pop demons upon them. They've vowed to go and listen, so I'll wait for the follow-up review there. We did touch on their Eurovision experience. We talked about art. We talked about the pressure of performing while just trying to stay upright. We also talked a lot about their relationship with their family and specifically the mother wound. A lot of the chat is around the mother wound, which I know, look, if you've found your way to me, you probably have one. I had an incredible time. We go everywhere, as I said. Prepare yourself for some very sparkly existentialism, I think.
There's so much for everyone in this.
And go and do yourself a favour and listen to It's Hard to Be a Fish. It's glorious and makes you feel like you are walking through a different universe, which is what they wanted, and they achieved it. By the way, Montaigne is now completely independent. This is their first album away from a major label. They're doing everything themselves in an industry that's very tough at the moment, especially if you're a musician. So go and support them. We've got a bunch of links. They're on tour also. I'll make sure Ben puts everything up, and they've got a Patreon. We'll put the link. But you'll enjoy this. It was a bit like looking into the sun, though. It felt like interviewing a much more intelligent, put-together version of myself 20 years ago. Enjoy. Jess, welcome to the Emsolation Studios.
Thank you for having me. It's very beautiful in here.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like the set design. Yeah.
It's what the inside of my brain looks like. I designed the wallpaper, which we now realise looks like ovaries.
I like it.
But you'll notice there is a giant vagina sitting behind me. So
I did see that. I clocked that walking in. I like it. Yeah, I like it all.
You will get
I'm
no
a fan.
context. None
required. None required.
See? They get it. This is a dopamine dream. This is what happens when an ADHDer is given her own way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I regret it. Sometimes I need to sit in a dark cupboard in there, but most of the time, yeah. It's my own thing, which is what you've embarked on.
That was a really proper segue.
Yes, yes. I'm professional, 20 years in the biz. Yeah. That's showbiz, baby. I think when your people approached my people, listen to us, I initially was like, I don't think I'm cool enough for them.
That's crazy.
Babe,
I think that's crazy.
Have we met?
I don't. Well, because it's funny because I don't think I'm cool, and I assume that like all my peers in industry people think that I'm uncool, like I'm quite a lame person, and then so it's crazy to me then when someone who is cool
very
that I
lame.
think is cool.
You want to know lame?
It's genuinely yeah. Anyway,
Wow. So we both think each other is cool.
that's nice.
Then I started looking into your story and I had to stop. And I said to you and you sat down, I then actively avoided any sort of absorption of you because it was like looking into the fucking sun.
Yeah.
Because you are a multidisciplinarian, you are good at everything, which is born out of growing up feeling not good enough.
Yes.
And I really, that very much resonates with me as undiagnosed autistic ADHD human who grew up eldest daughter of an immigrant and type A personality, perfectionist,
Yep.
wanted everyone to like her, but was extremely weird. And I used to study, other kids to figure out how to be. So it's just like I've always felt like I've had to put a human suit on every day.
Yeah.
So I dove into you and I think you're extraordinary. I think It's Hard to Be a Fish is the new album. I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. You're a world builder. You're a gamer. I figured out very quickly. But the album made me feel like, I don't know how you feel about Paramore.
I like Paramore.
They have an album called After Laughter.
Yeah, I love that album.
That's what it, thank God.
You said to me before the mics went on, like, I don't know if you'll be flat. I love Paramore.
Oh, thank
I love
God.
that album. It's very good stuff. It's
Thank
good
God.
stuff.
Thank God.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Björk in there as well.
Yeah.
But it made me feel that type of way where you've layered intense themes with bops. So it almost makes them a little darker in a way,
Yeah.
like the sad clown.
Yeah. Totally. I would almost self-describe as a sad clown. I'm less overtly clown, I don't think. I think in my music I'm able to bring out more clown than maybe I actually have in my real life. Like I do, my fiance is a comedian.
Yeah.
So like I've always been surrounded by comedians. All my friends are comedians and that's probably, I don't know, there's something subconscious going on there.
Definitely.
Like always searching for the humor in things and stuff where, maybe it's innately absent. But I think with my music I can't help but create something that sounds boppy. Like I've also
In a good connotation.
Yeah,
By the
no,
way,
yeah.
for me, when I hear something is a good bop, I'm in.
No,
and the last
totally.
track on your album is a fucking bop.
Thank you.
Jesus. Oh, you need to write a musical.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe one
You
day.
must. I'm in the middle of writing a musical at the moment.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's very fun. But your music lends itself to, and also when I read that you were putting together The Mother Wound with late stage capitalism and
Yeah.
environmental catastrophe, I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
That's very concisely put. I like how you do that because concision isn't my expertise. I think
It's a bold.
I think all those things are tied together.
How so?
Well, because I think specifically for me, you mentioned that you come from like immigrant parents, and I'm similar. My mom's from the Philippines and my dad's from Argentina. But
Holy shit, that's a combination.
to drill into like the Filipino side of things, like I think it goes all the way back to the colonization of the Philippines, and that's like a very fractured country, especially by class lines and race lines, because the Spanish ended up being the nobility and the upper class, and the native people who ended up, like marrying into Spanish families and, all that stuff ended up becoming the lower class. And so my mum like grew up in that sort of fabric of society with that great stratification, and there was a lot of shame in being lower class, and I think she was like middle class. And her dad was Spanish and her mum was Filipino. And like there's the racism in that already, like the Spanish side being quite judgmental of the Filipino side. And then also he was a very like troubled, traumatized man. You know, the Japanese occupied the Philippines for a time and he was exposed to violence, and he like beat my abuela, my grandma, and like she had to leave the family. And so my mom was super traumatized and abandoned from that, and like didn't even understand why that her mom was leaving because she was 5 when it happened. So like everyone's just like grown up with this intense like stress, pressure, anxiety, trauma, and none of it's exactly. And it all comes from this like historical material reality that I have also inherited. Like it goes all the way from back then because like you see it all the time, like peoples who've experienced war, conflict, violence at such a great scale, they do develop PTSD or like these traumas or health disorders that like prevent them from taking the deep breath required before they approach a situation, especially with their children or anyone with that level of intimacy, you know what I mean? And so like I think that's part of it, and we're also seeing now like capitalism is part of that as well, because capitalism also creates these pressure points. Like it is a system that is like innately unjust. It creates a concentration of wealth amongst a very few while leaving everyone else behind without shelter, without the food they need, without all this stuff. Again, creates stress, pressure that causes these ruptures in people's mental like facility and ability. And that gets distributed amongst like the people that they're close to around them, right? And then the environmental stuff as well, partly like collapses owed to like capitalism, and the distresses from environmental collapse affect people material as well, and it all just sort of feeds into each other. And so like I really wanted to capture that whole like just sort of ambient sense in the album, I guess.
And you fucking did.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, you did. You did the thing you set out to do, because on paper it's unhinged.
That's so funny.
Like on paper, it's I'm like, okay, let's all right.
Yeah.
But you achieved it, and you feel like a character in a video game walking through different worlds. Like it felt like I was on a different level every single kind of song I went into.
Awesome.
And you do evoke that feeling of, oh, it's so nice to be outside. Why are we fucking this?
Yeah.
But also the family shit. Like you truly like. You've just sat there and given this most beautiful, nuanced thing, but in the end, you have delivered a pop album that does tackle all those three seemingly unrelated, huge issues. So you're a fucking genius.
Oh, thank you.
But are you tired of being the cycle breaker?
Yeah.
I can't fucking do it no more.
I'm so tired.
I'm tired.
I'm so
I'm
tired
like,
as well.
Lord, send me no more lessons.
Yeah.
Because at some point, you do have to break the trauma lines, right?
Yeah.
And how old are you?
I'm 30 in a month.
So you've been in hectic Saturn return too.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, this all makes sense.
It's
about you
all,
now.
yeah.
I see you. I just, at some point I just like, can someone else carry the burden?
Oh, I feel that so often. I feel like I'm always the most responsible person in my life, and sometimes it's so draining and exhausting, and just it's actually like some days I'm just like, I can't even face a single email. Like to do that would be a betrayal of like, the exhaustion I feel right now.
Just yourself.
Yeah, I have to like honor myself by just being like maybe disappointing to someone today. You know what I mean?
But we're not wired like that.
No, exactly. And then
I.
it's so hard. It's like you don't want to, and it feels like also a betrayal of yourself to do that. It's I hate it. It's
I look forward to your late 40s.
You look forward to my late
I do.
40s? Okay.
I do. I'll be like a 60-year-old bog witch by then. I'll have taken to the forest with my animal friends. My pubic hair will be down to my knees. I cannot wait. We're close. It's July. I think there's been this huge cracking open for me at this stage in my life. So there's an estrogen exodus happening. I'm in perimenopause. And my people pleasing, that was the most prevalent part of my personality, has gone.
Yeah, that's good.
My ability to tolerate shitty behaviour is gone. Like, it used to be my mission to kind of fix it or point out how we could make things better. And now and I never thought I would watch older women say, I don't give any fucks anymore. I'm like, that's just never.
I think like, yeah, doing the caveats can be really draining. Even with like this conversation that I'm having on my album about my mum, like, because she doesn't get to represent her side in the album, I feel when I talk about it all the time, I have to be like, but you know, like, there's nuance and depth to it. There's like historical context. There's all this context that allows, like, that shapes who she is. And so we have to understand and empathize with that. And at the end of the day, what I want to say is like, her behavior is fucking insane and it hurts me a lot, you know, but like, I feel to be a mature, responsible person, you have to have all the caveats. You have to be saying like,
yeah, but 10-year-old Jess is still fucking hurting.
Yeah, you know, precisely. And it's like, with bad behavior, I always feel like I have to empathize first and I do think it is important to empathize first and then criticize after.
But boring.
But it is boring. It's like really draining work because the people on the other end are
the
doing
ones
the
who
same
need to do the work.
They're not doing the same
The ones
work
in
as
therapy
well.
are not the ones that need to be in
No.
therapy. It's the ones that they're talking about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, you know, I spent like 15 years of my life trying to figure out how to have a relationship with my parents, my mom. And like, I changed my behavior, I changed my approach, I learned to draw boundaries, I learned to talk to her a different way. Sometimes I was like, I feel like she's actually like molding and responding to the way that I'm changing my behavior and maybe things are going to get better. And then like something would happen. I would be like, oh no, it's not any different at all. Like she just knows that I'm a bit more on a hair trigger now. Like, and I'll say, I'm blocking you, I'm ending this call, whatever, very quickly. She can't actually pull the same shit on me anymore because she knows I won't take it and nothing's actually changed. And you know, that's ultimately why I ended up going no contact, because I was like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore. Like, I don't get anything from this person anymore. Like, my emotional needs aren't met. I'm not met with any material or financial needs from them. Like, none of this stuff is serving me. So I just, I can't do it anymore, you know? And like, and then the annoying thing about making a decision like that as well is you'll always get people who are like, oh, but it's your parents.
Fuck that.
You know what I mean? It's
so
like,
what?
Yeah.
You didn't pick him.
Yeah, no, I didn't pick him. And also, like, you know, I think this is always the best argument. Like, you wouldn't tolerate the same behavior from a partner. Like, the only thing that is different is I emerged from that person's uterus. Yeah. And like, that's it. Like,
You're so right. It is this weird societal expectation that the tolerance level should be infinite because they brought you into the
it's your
world.
Parents,
yeah.
And I think that's like an amazing narrative trap that has been set by like any
Especially
parents
mothers
ever.
And daughters.
Yeah. And I just don't think there's any credence to it really. Like, you're telling me that I have to be subject to a power relationship where I am always inferior and I'm always subjugated just because of the specific condition? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually insane. Yeah.
Does your mum, like, you've sat down, you've very publicly spoken about how this record touches on the relationship with her and what it was like, and you do mention narcissistic personality tendencies. Were you afraid did you feel like, because I think people, for me certainly, I protect the people that behave worst. Like, even in work situations, I've protected really badly behaved men.
Yeah.
I've certainly protected badly behaved family members from the way that the public may perceive them. But you've just gone, no, I'm telling my truth.
Well, this is the fine line I walk, right? Like, I'm not I have like this established career and reputation, right? But I'm not like a super big artist, you know what I mean? So the decision I've made in like talking about it has been calculated, knowing that I don't have like the kind of like fan base or audience or like general
Scrutiny.
Public chatter around me to like really make my mum's life worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think I have been caveating a lot. Like, I don't want my mum's life to be worse. You know, like, I don't want her to struggle with employment opportunities. I don't want people harassing her. I don't want any of that stuff. Like, that's absolutely not. I want her to live a good, healthy, safe life, you know? And
Does part of you hope, though, that she hears this and hears your side for the first time?
no, I just
doesn't?
know that it's not going to go in.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, it's been so long and I've tried so many
Because that's what I heard.
times.
I heard a child really healthily explaining the impact. Like that's what
Yeah.
I heard. And I
Yeah.
thought for you straight away, I hope
yeah.
their mum hears this.
Yeah, I think the problem, it's the thing with like the narcissistic personality tendencies is they just can't.
Yeah,
Like the layers of defense are just so thick that they couldn't let anything which makes their bad behavior true, like
yeah. Oh no,
be
they're
acknowledged.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, there's really, I think that's the only reason why I felt comfortable going no contact, because I came pretty much certain in the knowledge that nothing would ever change and she would never hear my side of things. And even now, like I get reports of like shit they're saying about me, you know, and like how I'm like, apparently she was like, I think Jess has narcissistic personality disorder.
That's very classic narcissist of her.
Yeah, and I was like,
On brand for her.
that's so deranged. But anyway, like I think like, again, this is the thing as well about my mum and people like her is like they are perfectly pleasant to other people often. Like not all narcissists, like some narcissists are they
Overt.
can't hide it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
overt, exactly. But like most of them are like a lot of people meet them and like, oh, she was really charismatic and really
gaslighting.
cool and yeah, exactly. And so like I think she's gonna be fine. And like again, you know, to anyone listening, like I don't need anyone to go on a campaign for me to deal with her. Like I've already dealt with her and I don't want her to be brought back into my
No one
life and my
from
circle.
my community
Yeah,
will
no,
make you.
I don't think
I'm
so.
surrounded by mother wounds.
Yeah.
I've become the woman I needed as a 10-year-old, as a 15-year-old, as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
To my 3 kids. And
Yeah.
my strongest relationships are with my 2 daughters are my best friends. I mean, they're 23 and 18. And I have gotten to a point with my parents that I understand things differently now that I've got my own kids and have had my own relationships. I think that's been I've softened.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think like it's funny, like when I was in my early 20s and I went to my therapist for the first time, I was like, all this has happened and this is my relationship with my parents. And she was like, I think the only way, because I think back then I was like, I want to cut contact with my parents. And she was like, look, not yet. I think what you need to do before you make that decision is actually like learn to draw boundaries and like kind of learn their behavior and where it comes from. And I was so resistant to like that idea at the time. I was like, how could you say this to me? Like, this is what I need. But like, I do think it is like not even necessarily for them, but for yourself, so important to like come to that understanding of their behavior and their background and like all the things that make them who they are and have informed their behavior.
It helps
towards
you to stop taking responsibility for it.
Precisely, and like to not, again, like not repeat it, right? Like, which, it's so much work. But I guess I think like...
For instance, swim back.
Is this what you want? Wrecked on the hunt for impossible treasure. I'm floating at sea, all the debris, lifeless around me. Don't know where I belong, but it's not to you. Treading water out in the blue. When I'm stranded, how do I swim back to me, but not to you? I swim back to me, but not to.
Fuck off. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
I mean, that...
yeah.
How did you survive that song?
The nice thing about that song was I wrote it with another artist from the UK named Jade Bird, who also has dealings with narcissistic parents. And we just had like a nice big chat on the floor that day. And then the song sort of just like after talking for like 4 hours, we just like pooped out the song like in an hour.
They're the best ones.
Yeah. And I think like having her there for it helped us like make the song and like contain all the emotion, but then also have a bit of distance, I guess, in the immediate moment from it, you know.
But it's about like, it's especially relevant to women my age who a lot of us are waking up and realizing we no longer want to play the role that we have been playing for the last 20 years, that we, betrayed ourselves in so many different ways. And I don't want to be someone's therapist, a chauffeur, life curator, everything. And I'm exhausted and turning around and trying to walk back to who you were away from all of that. Like this song also taps it. It's like, it's not just, that's why it's good. And I just kept thinking about Dory also because I sing Just Keep Swimming to myself more times a day than I should. It's a bit sad actually. I thought a lot about that. And then I think, I heard you in an interview talking about how, you're drawn to songs where the sentiment is, just keep going.
Yes.
And then I felt really tired for you because you know what happens when you have that mentality?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Because that was like my credo. Like that was my like just fucking keep going like no matter what. And so I was just walking like I just in snow, naked, like things straight. I'm just like just keep going.
Yeah.
And I just recently decided I'm not going to mind my trauma anymore for content.
Yes.
Like I've just drawn a line in the sand this year. This year specifically, female comedians especially are expected to get on stage and have a trauma arc and have a breakdown in song 4 and then by the end of it we've wrapped it up we've got a pull-through message for everybody to walk away and feel like it's in a neat little bow.
For sure, yeah.
Male comedians can get on stage and talk about how they can't get their dick up and they can't get a girlfriend and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I just put a line in the sand on it this year and said, I'm just going to make stuff for joy's sake.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And that's been a huge learning for me because I felt like everything I put out had to come from my soul, that responsibility of, because I assume you're like me, I feel the world through every nerve ending at 1,000 and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So, I when I heard you say that, I hope you get to a place where you don't feel like...
Well, I do. Yeah, I think for me, I feel like I've gotten pretty good at least at resting. Like I'm very...
That's a good life skill. Because I always
like,
equated that with laziness.
Yeah, no, well, because I definitely inherited that sort of message from my parents, but I think like... I have spent enough time amongst like anti-capitalists to like...
So evolved for a 30-year-old. We need to be friends. I need to learn your ways.
Yeah.
You're so wise.
But yeah, I just think because I did a lot of, well, not a lot of reading, but I spoke to a lot of people and did a bit of reading about like the way that capitalism shapes our perspectives of like our routines and our productivity and stuff like that. And, people say it's like it's protest or revolutionary to actually rest when you are expected to be productive all the time.
It's
and
punk
like
to rest.
Yeah. And then after like hearing that, I was like, great. I was like, I'm just gonna play.
I'm just protesting.
I'm just gonna
play.
play.
Napping over there.
No, literally, because I love playing video games, and I think video games is another. It's another thing that has this like patina of judgment over it at all times because people think it's like not enriching, it's like just addictive and it teaches people to do gun violence. Yeah, and
my 6-year-old's clocked Zelda, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. He's 6. Wow. He's autistic, he's a gamer.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing.
But that's all
I love that.
That's all we do.
Yeah, but like games, one, just as an aside, can be very enriching. Like some of the most heartbreaking, like meaningful experiences and narratives I've ever consumed have been through games.
Some of us have been nominated for Grammys for our work on video games. One of us here, I can't say which one, has got so into it, they're on their way to an EGOT.
Yeah.
You've got the
funny.
girth.
I know.
Exciting.
But yeah, there's that, and then also like it is just another hobby. It's just another way to pass the time. And like, what are we all doing except for just passing time on this planet?
Exactly.
You know, like it's
and
I
trying to
love
make
doing
it better and leave it better.
Yeah, precisely.
That's it.
Precisely. And I think like, I don't know, I've spent a lot of time like playing video games. I think I've gotten better at like after 5 p.m. I'm not doing any work. Maybe social media. I'm a bit like I feel the draw and the pull to social media that like is inescapable.
Dopamine slot machine.
Yeah, exactly. But like I really try best as I can to like at least not be thinking about anything else. And so I think even with the keep going stuff, for me it's like it's funny because I think my like day to day I'm quite good at feeling like a normal person, but then it's not been very true lately. I guess in times of acuteness, like for example, moving interstate and like getting engaged and like all these really big events and like
Releasing
things
an
happening.
album and the first one you've done independently and all that entails.
Exactly. I think I've cried like every single day for like the last 3 weeks.
I was going to
like
say 35 years.
Yeah. But it's like just because every day I'm like, fuck, it's a lot of stuff, isn't it? And like I'm barely like this might, I don't know, maybe this will resonate with you. But
If it involves crying and feelings, probably.
well, it does. But a few months ago, my partner and I went on a trip like to one of those like off-grid cabins as just like a few days holiday to just like have a relax. And I was really sad about this. And we were going to take some hallucinogens.
Amazing.
And
I had a mushroom phase last year.
yeah, and I had only done them a couple times earlier, and both of them were like really small doses because I'm really tiny and like all types of drugs, alcohol, coffee, any of it like hits me like a truck. And so I was like, I'm gonna take a really little amount. And previously it had been nice and it had just been like, oh, look at the trees and like, you know, whatever. And so, but I guess whatever the amount I took on this day was just a bit more than a small amount. And like it put me, I wasn't like, there was no visual stuff. Like everything was mostly in place. There was a bit of wibbling, but it was mostly like I just went to this dark place so quickly.
Another
And
dimension.
I do find anytime I have a hallucinogen that is like more than a bit, like I immediately go to the traumatized place. And me and my partner, it actually turned into like a really kind of cathartic experience. It was scary, but it was cathartic because I was like lying on the couch in this little place and my partner was like nowhere near on the level as I was because he's much bigger than I am and he like took about the amount I did and he was like kind of just a bit sleepy. So he was like kind of in a chill place.
Yeah.
And I was looking at like the ceiling, which was like, it was one of those loft things where you like go up a ladder and the bed's up there. But so I was looking at the ceiling, there was like a down light on the ceiling. It looked like a hole. I was looking at the hole and I was like, suddenly I was like going down the hole
Jesus.
and the hole was a well. And like, I don't know if you've read The Wonder Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami.
Is it going to shock you if I say no?
Maybe not. But there's like this ongoing motif in that book about this well and there's like this whole scene about like this guy at the bottom of this well and stuff. And I was at the bottom of a well but then it was like baby, it was like
I
child
was just going to
me.
say, are you going to be like, are we in birth canal territory
No,
now?
it was like a
Jesus.
proper well and I was at the bottom of it and it was a child me. And I'm saying this all to Nick because I was saying to him, like, I'm seeing some weird stuff right now.
Okay.
And he was like, talk me through it. Like he was kind of guiding me through it.
Good partnering,
He's
Nick.
lovely. Yeah, he's great. And I was like, I'm at the bottom of a well. It's like really scary. And he was like, you know, what else is at the bottom of the well or what's the feeling? And I was like, it feels like the me at the bottom of the well is the me that is like always inhabiting my everyday life, but no one knows. Like I always feel like I'm this small little thing that's, you know, like that's the feeling that was coming up. And then Nick was like, well, why don't you try talking to you at the bottom of the well? And I was like, okay. And then I was like trying to talk to me, but they weren't saying anything, but they were kind of responding a little bit. And then Nick was like, why don't you give them like a Game Boy? And I was
my gosh.
And I was like, okay. And then I like gave them a Game Boy, and then they were just like kind of playing the Game Boy, and they were like really
What was the game?
I don't know. I
okay,
could just
too
see
much
like
to discuss.
the light on their face as they were like playing in the screen and stuff. And then in that moment I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm looking at me as a kid, but I'm their parent, and I'm like the parent
You
that
were.
is giving them the thing that they
Yes.
needed or wanted.
Literally healing your inner child.
Precisely. And then as that thought happened, that like kid me like turned into a seed and planted into the ground, and like a light beam came out. And then that was it.
That's amazing.
And then I was like, whoa. Like that felt like
So
something
you're no longer
happened.
like untethered. You tethered yourself to the, you grounded.
Yes.
You grounded yourself.
Yeah.
You did grounding
Or like
work.
I resolved
That's
something.
massive. No, you
know what I
did.
mean? Yeah, exactly, which was crazy because like I don't know, it just felt so
not crazy.
significant.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, and like, if I'm honest, I don't feel that resolution all the time, right? Like sometimes I still do just feel like I'm the little well child that's been left alone, but like it's nice to know as well. Like I think the nicest thing of all of that was like my partner was there, and he was guiding me through that, and he's always there for me, and he's my family now, and like his family's awesome. Like they're so lovely to me and really embrace me for everything I am, and
Which is amazing and perfect.
Yeah, so beautiful. But just like that. I guess that's like
That's a lot, Jess.
Yeah.
You're a big feeling, like nerve-ending, smart, vulnerable human that is trying to make good shit and hope that it makes people feel better than before they consumed it. Like I see you, and I'm glad that you have found that you're not marrying your trauma, because a lot of us recreate the things that they were comfortable with in their past. It's not necessarily healthy. To get through Christmas last year, that's why Ben was laughing, I accidentally took like a hero dose of stuff I had picked. And I was only meant to take a little bit just to take the edge off Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And I really took too much, and it was a journey. My best friend had to be called.
Oh my God.
He had to come up. I ended up sitting at the back of my parents' house talking to a big like oak tree. Like I was talking to it, like it was pumping me up. Like it was the trees from, is it Lord of the Rings? You know those guys?
The Ents.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. I was talking to the Ent, and it just kept saying to me like that, root yourself in, like not root yourself, but like dig into the ground.
Yeah.
And that's how you're going to like survive everything, is you have to plant your roots for you and grow from that, but yeah, the Christmas was was hectic.
Christmas is. Have you watched The Bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too triggering though.
Yeah, no, that episode.
That's what my family is like.
Have you gotten to that one episode where they're all at dinner and like it's crazy? Have you seen?
Is that in season 1?
It's in season 2.
Oh no, I couldn't get. Season 1 was too triggering.
Oh my God! If
just
season
like
1 was triggering, season 2 would have been.
I'm not watching it.
fucking
No, I sat down.
nuclear.
Yeah.
It was.
My kids were watching me, and my eldest daughter Chella's like, "You shouldn't watch any more of this show." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, Mum,
No, season 2 has like an episode right smack bang in the middle that is just a flashback of like that family being at a Christmas dinner, and it is
no, thank you."
it was triggering. It was like I was like, this is so fucking. I actually couldn't believe how well they depicted it.
But isn't it wild when you see stuff that you think is just a singular experience to you because it's so profound, and then you watch it, it's so general that somebody can write about it in a TV show, like, or I read it in a book, or I'm like, oh, I thought that only.
Yeah.
Just a basic bitch. Fuck.
Yeah.
But it's anyway. What I'm trying to say to you in a roundabout way is, it's hard to be a fish. Did shit to me that I think that you intended. Like I just want to say to everybody, it's an album. It will appeal to you, especially if you're at my stage in life, because weirdly, I'm in my like second Saturn return. I feel that. I feel like I felt when I was your age, because when I was your age, everything cracked open, and then I've been band-aiding that, and then everything's cracked open for me again in such a deep, profound way, and everything is hard, but I think the universe knows I can handle it now. I think I'm able to turn around and undo all this shit I've been masking and pretending, and it's all coming home to roost because the body keeps score.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying I'm really looking forward to your late 40s. I hope I'm around. I'll keep a spot for you in the spare room at the Bogwitch Hut.
Please do.
Before I let you go, though, when I used to get asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? When I was very little, it was I wanted to represent Italy in Eurovision.
Yeah.
Because when I used to watch Eurovision, it was dumb.
Yeah.
It was so fun. It became way too serious, and I've kind of tapped out from Eurovision. But in my day, it was like Russian grandmothers playing drums.
Yeah.
You have done the Eurovision thing, and knowing what I know about the fandom, I imagine that's probably another level of trauma for you to still be working through. Like Eurovision, it's not fun, is it?
No, well, it's a little bit fun. I definitely gained a lot of fans, which is nice.
Oh, you did?
But also like the people that stick with you are the people that get you, right? Like, because I did not try to dilute myself at all when I went to Eurovision, and I think that was good because again, like there is a minority of people who were like, that's entirely my vibe. So like, great, you know.
Were you a fan of it growing up?
I wasn't like a diehard in the way some
You're too
people
cool.
are
You're too cool.
diehards. No, I definitely would say I'm too cool. No, we watched it growing up, but it was like I think I like. It's funny because I'm couching it in like in a perspective that I think is very what's the word, like imbalanced, because what I've now seen is the diehard Eurovision fan for whom Eurovision is like a year-round event. Like it's not just in May, it's like the whole year is spent thinking about.
They watch the different countries' finals, the song contest. I got you.
Right, and so like my family, we watched it growing up. You know what I mean? Like, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Which I think is the average person.
I do too. Truly.
I think most people just tune in May once a year, and they're like, "This is good fun."
Well, before the internet, those people were just in dark bedrooms cutting out pictures from magazines.
Yeah.
Now the internet allows the light of day in.
Yeah, and like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having like an obsessive passion for a thing.
K-pop
like,
Demon Hunters.
Yeah. I was listening to them.
Have you watched
I haven't watched it. I would like to watch it. I'm excired.
I'm warning you. It's crack.
Okay.
I can't explain it to you.
I'll heat it. Okay. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. We'll see how we go. But
can you send me a message on Instagram?
I will send you a message once I've watched it. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I have throughout my life been obsessively into things and I've enjoyed it. I guess like the difference between someone like me and another like a Eurovision fan is like there is like a cruelty.
The lack of death threats.
Yeah. It's like the cruelty.
That feels me to the line when they start threatening your life over the thing they love.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. And I don't think this is obviously like limited to Eurovision.
No.
Like this is across all fandoms. Yeah, but I think the funniest thing for me with Eurovision is they treat it with the sort of same rigor as something like K-pop, where it's like these need to be like the most highly trained performers of all time. Like the choreography was this, that, or the other, and the lighting. Yeah, precisely. Yeah. And it's like you were saying, like Eurovision has never been like high polished. Like
that's why I loved it.
You do get people who are high polished, for sure, and they often do perform well, like Loreen, like that's like such a high polished performance. But like the reason why you enjoy Eurovision is because of the diversity
the Russian grandmothers.
Yeah, exactly. Of performances, like all the random little things that happen. But like these people turn it into a real Olympics event rather than just like a fun arts thing, you know what I mean? It's like they actually care about the competition so much that I would say it actually worsens the quality of their life to be that invested. Like just be into the music, and it doesn't have to be ranked.
It's not that deep, bro.
I
just want a t-shirt that says it's just not that deep, bro.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
It's not.
It's not. But-
It's not worth like bullying someone over. You know
I
what
agree.
I mean? Like that's
not
insane.
Much is. Not much is,
No.
except K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
I will bully you until you watch it.
Okay.
I'm a zealot
Don't worry,
for
I'm
that
gonna
shit.
watch it. You don't
Like a
need to.
drug
I'll
dealer,
watch
but for
it.
K-pop
I
Demon
do. I
Hunters.
really love. I like K-pop.
That's lots of love.
And yeah,
A little
there's
problematic. Let's not look too deep into the sun on that one. Let's not stare into the eyes. Let's walk past it.
Yeah, exactly. But
not look.
I do. Yeah, I will definitely. Check
I've
it out.
ordered them. I've got the merch coming. Like I even bought t-shirts.
Whoa.
ADHD. Hyperfixation. I've got the derp. You'll know. There's a derpy tiger. There's this cat in it
Okay.
that's got OCD, and I
Yeah.
became upset. It doesn't say a thing, but when you watch it, you'll understand why I love the cat. I've got a cat t-shirt coming. I'm supremely obsessed, and I'm so glad I'm dealing it out to someone, other poor victim. I can't wait to hear what you think of it. Before we go, this has been so great. Thank you for joining me. I know it's all a bit unhinged.
No, I like it.
I'm like the auntie you're scared of in the corner. The state of the Australian music industry and the music industry in general, James Blake said something that, musicians don't make money from music because Spotify tricked people into believing that music's free, and it's fucking not. And so you release music, and that is now it's so fucking awful. You don't make money from the music. It's the merch. It's the tours.
Yeah.
It's the social media shit. How, as somebody who is a deeply feeling individual, as we discussed, how are you navigating that? Because even just the publicity trail, even just having to sit down and whore something, is fucking good. It's the pick me, and it goes against everything I know you are.
Yeah.
How now as an independent, because you are,
Yeah.
how you navigating it?
I think my mantra for things is to always try but never expect. You know what I mean? So like,
Just give it a crack.
yeah, I think like I like doing stuff like this. Like I like these chats. I really like them. And interviews, like I like as well because it gives me an opportunity to actually reflect on and like talk about like the record and see if like my ideas are cogent or whatever, you know,
are.
like, so that stuff's, I don't mind, like honestly, the press trail, I like it because I like talking.
Yeah.
Right. And I can talk. But I guess like the hard bit is trying
Making
to
money?
get money. Yeah,
I mean, no, let's call a spade a spade.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
idea
yeah.
that just because you're famous or
Yeah.
known, that automatically trades into I can pay my electricity bill and my rent every
Yeah.
month is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, well, part of the reason, you know, like I'm multidisciplinary partly because I like doing stuff and lots of different stuff, and also the expectation was put on me to like be good at everything as a kid, but also like because that's
You have
how
to
I
be.
keep a full-time career. Like
Exactly,
doing
same.
music is like I'll compose for that video game, I'll host or present at this thing, like I'll do all of it. I'm capable, but also like that's how the bills get paid, you know.
Same.
It is most of the money for me for the last few years, the last like 7 years of my career has come from festivals, like
Yeah.
because you get a guarantee. Festivals are dead in Australia. They're not really happening anymore. So I'm
Touring's
actually,
dead.
like everyone's on a massive downturn now because like people aren't buying as many tickets to shows unless you're an international or really big artist with a lot of buzz around you. Like just that sort of local community, like let's just go see and figure out, like see what it's like. That doesn't exist as much anymore. Like venues, especially in like Sydney, not as much. I think Melbourne has a bit more of that
Culture.
culture.
It does,
yeah.
yeah.
And from what I understand, Brisbane as well. But like, yeah, it's really hard to tour somewhere like Perth or Adelaide because, yeah, unless you are a really buzzy act or like doing the arenas, hard to get people to come to shows. And so even that nowadays, tough. And so like what I've turned to now is Patreon. And
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I
we'll
do-
link everything in the show notes.
cool.
Yeah.
I do Patreon now, which like at this stage of my like career with it, I get about 1,000 a month, which like does not really make a dent in a music career because the overheads are like insane because of gear and travel and flights and
But it's
all of it.
guaranteed, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then also the nice thing about that is like it's not corporate. Like
It's direct.
Exactly.
Well, we went to a subscription model.
Yeah.
I deal directly with my community now. I've cut
which
out
is
all the
so
middle
much
people.
nicer.
Yeah.
Like because people can come and go as they please, as they are financially able. But whenever they do come, it's because they love you.
They've chosen you.
Yeah, exactly. And and often it's funny because on Patreon they do exit surveys as well. So if someone unsubscribes or can't pay anymore, they tell you why. And most people just say, I'm so sorry, my financial situation has changed, but as soon as I'm ready to again, I'm going to come back. And that's so lovely. Yeah. You know, like it's way better than receiving like an advance from a label, which is way more money, but then there's all these strings attached. And also it's like from this exploitative entity, you know, like I still have not earned a single cent from any of the music I ever released with my label because I'm still recouping off of that. And I didn't even get that much recoup money. Like I have not been loaned that much. It's just that like, with streaming income does not make a large dent in those things unless you're one of these artists that ends up in the hundreds of millions of streams category, which is like a slim minority of all artists that ever make stuff. I think like the biggest myth about music in the music industry, and I think it's similar with like acting as well, is like you always see the really rich 1% like of top tier artists or actors or whatever who like are thriving, and in your mind you're just like either you're a really good actor who gets there or you're a shit actor and you deserve to not earn any money. It's like no, heaps of really good artists, heaps of really good actors. In fact, the majority don't earn enough money for their trade, not commensurate to their talent, and that's just how it is. And like, especially with labels, like labels will throw heaps of money at lots of different artists, just hoping one of them ends up being that Sabrina Carpenter, Chapel Rowan thing. But most of the time they're just like, they know it won't work. They're just taking a gamble every time, just seeing because they have money to throw away. And then that one artist that breaks through will cover the losses on the rest of them, right? And like, this is the funny thing as well, is like the losses on the rest of them even like aren't proper losses, because sometimes when an investor invests in a business, if they don't make that money back, they're not necessarily like going to the person doesn't then have to like if the business fails and it ends, they're not getting that money back, right? With music, they just hold your IP for a very long time and they keep drawing income from it to make that money back forever, and there's nothing you can do about it because that's in your contract. You know what I mean? And I think the only that's business, sure. That's capitalism. That's how it works. I think the thing that bothers me about it, apart from like everything, the inherent injustice of it, is like young artists never know what they're getting into. No. Like it's not explained to them like how much time that actually is that's being taken away from them, how much like ownership of resource, you know, like it just.
Well, for me, I always have the IP conversation with people now because I often get asked, you know, what's your advice? And I'm like, look, my only advice is own your shit. Yeah. No matter what, hang on to it for dear life. Don't sell your name. Don't sell your intellectual property.
I think, you, even in the podcasting world, like you and like Abby Chatfield are both so smart because like you said, like Spotify was an option there, but then you didn't go with it. You built it all from the ground up. Abby's done that as well. So smart because now that it's like successful, it's working, it's going, you've got audience space and stuff, you own it all. Yeah. And it's like super hard work to get there, and like it takes so much time, energy, emotion. But then at the end of the day, like after the hard yards have paid off, now it's all yours. You don't have to censor yourself. You don't have to like make deals with the devil. You're in control, and I think that is definitely the best position. It's the most powerful position to be in as a creator and someone who wants to lend their voice to something that like is actually meaningful, impactful, and deep. You know what I mean? Like it's
sometimes you just talk about dicks.
Oh, that's fine as well. But
actually, a lot of the time we just talk about dicks.
Like I think.
But I hear you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for seeing me. Yeah. You're just magnificent. Jess is on tour.
31st of July in Brisbane, 1st of August in Melbourne, and 9th of August in Sydney.
Yes. Yeah. Get along. Support musicians. Yeah. As we've just said, it's tough out there. This album is magnificent. It's a masterpiece. Well done. It achieved, at least just for this broken 46-year-old mother of three, what I think you set out for it to achieve.
Oh, that's really nice.
Thank you. And thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. You're actually just down the road from me.
Sick.
Yeah.
Right.
So
we're friends now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thanks, honey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Extra.
It's Emsolation Extra. Coming up on Emsolation Extra. In today's episode, we are talking about Michael's extreme excitement about the upcoming Superman movie. Do you think your attraction to Superman There's a very famous photo of you when you're very little. Was that a homemade Superman costume from
By
Joe?
my mother, yes.
So cute. Do you think, like, what's your first memory of Superman? Like,
Definitely Christopher Reeve. My obsession with Superman began with the 1978 movie. Obviously, I was not around for the cinema release, but it used to be annually repeated on television. And there were certain movies, this was before VHS, before it was at least at our house. And so...
Drive-in?
No. It was just on, regularly every year.
Gotcha.
Bill Collins used to present it.
Farley.
And once I even wrote him a letter saying, when are you playing Superman again? He wrote back to me.
Are you joking?
And he said, I played it too recently. But
That is the cutest. Have you
yeah, I've still got
that?
it. Yeah.
That
do.
is. Can you dig it out?
I will.
We need it for
Yeah.
content purposes.
Yeah.
That's so lovely.
Yeah, I drew pictures. He goes, I've appreciated your letter and your pictures of Superman. I was obsessed. With Superman and Lois Lane and grew up with it. I love the sequel too. Then let's not talk about
It's
it.
not.
No. So it's been an intensely long time between dreams. But that particular picture, I dressed up as him constantly. My mum decided not to shell out for a proper Superman costume. So
I'm glad.
instead she took a Safeway bag.
Emsolation with M. Rossiano is recorded at Down the Hill Studios. Hosted by M. Rossiano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by M. Rossiano. Edited by Ezekiel Fenn with videos by James Henderson. Socials by Benjamin Wasley, M. Rossiano and Marcello Rossiano Barrow with assistance from Jim Evans and Isabella Hines. You'll find links to get more Emsolation on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. And thanks for listening. We can't wait to chat with you again soon.